Anikulapo. Saro, the cloth weaver from Bagon, travels to Oyo in search of employment. He does not get what he's looking for but gets work as a claim holder. His employer Awarun takes a liking to him, feeding him extra both day and night. The king of Oyo holds several meetings with his council, discussing topics such as taxes, wars, and slave trades that contribute nothing to the plot of the story. The king's harem has a mini feud ongoing among them. He has been missing his turns with his other wives to get some of the nectar of the young girls. Arolake. She is frequently mocked by the others for being childless.
I'm not the cause of her childlessness.
The town gossip tells Saro he knows of his sex cabbages with Awarun. He warns Saro that Awarun loves to prey on young men like him to her advantage.
Why are you telling me this?
It is my duty to tell you.
Awarun gives Saro a place of his own. He starts his business and the ladies love him.
Isn't this good? Are you out of your mind?
Beautiful mother.
A rich man rides into town. Saro waits for Awarun's nightly visit, but she does not come. Conjina bastard. He goes looking for her and discovers the rich man was giving it to her. The next day, he confronts her about
Who was that man?
She puts him in his place.
You are such a fool.
Simp. Awarun apologizes to Saro during their next hookup. She clarifies that she is too old for him to marry, but she was willing to give him all her support when he finds the right woman. She recommends him to the palace to supply the king's wives with new clothes. He gets excited. He supplies the royal family with the outfits. On seeing Arolake, it was love at first sight. That night he gets stalked by her and receives it. The princess Omoumi was also taking a liking to him. She requests he come back to the palace so she can change her choice of clothes. That night he gets another encounter with Arolake. Saro apologizes to Awarun because they've been missing their appointments. Awarun says she's not mad at him but scared for him because he has been chopping what is not his to chop. She knew of his affair with the king's wife and warns him of the danger. Arolake's next visit was met with disapproval by Saro. She opens up to him on how she was married off to the king at an early age, and how her marriage felt like a prison. There have even been attempts to poison her. He also opens up to her how he was sent away at an early age to work off his parents' debts. They bond and decide to elope that night. Unfortunately, Omoumi the princess had trailed Arolake and discovered her secret affair. Heartbroken, she reports to her mother, who in turn informs the king. Arolake escapes from the palace, but before she could meet up with Saro, he is captured by the king's guards.
You guards,
Your Highness.
take this criminal and treat him exactly the way he deserves.
He's taken to the forest and beaten to death. Arolake wails over his corpse. Akala, a mystical bird, brings him back to life with a sacred calabash, but before it could execute his fate, Arolake rescues him and steals Akala's sacred calabash. They then escape through the forest for several weeks. They meet an elderly hunter who offers them a stay at his hunting lodge for the night as they are slave raiders on the route to the nearest town. The next day he returns with them to Ojumo, the nearest town. He comes home to the news that his son had passed away. Arolake opens up to Saro about the sacred calabash she had stolen and convinces him to use it to resurrect the boy. She said this will give them favor in the eyes of the townspeople. He listens to her advice and brings the boy back from death.
Arise!
The people are overjoyed and give Saro the name Anikulapo. The king requests to see him. The king and his council ask to know the source of his power. He does not share that information. Nonetheless, the king accepts him and offers them a place to stay in the village. He continues to resurrect the dead of the village and they shower him with gifts.
God, I thank you. What is it? God, thank you. Who asked you for help?
He was doing good until he meets his arch enemy, Nyash. He sleeps with Omo, the house help, and she becomes pregnant.
Okay, it's not a problem. Whoever is responsible needs to know and take responsibility, right?
Arolake is displeased, but Saro convinces her that they cannot have a happy home without children, and his children will be her children. He made Omo his second wife. Years later, Saro has become recognized and wealthy enough that he takes a third wife named Bimpe. The rest of the wives treat Saro poorly, as she is still childless.
What's going on here?
I didn't stop you from giving birth to your children. Sorry, it's okay. It's okay. You keep making the children cry.
One night, Arolake confesses her unhappiness to Saro. She compares him to her former husband who treated her more lovingly than Saro. She gets a slap. The next day, he gets summoned by the king.
The prince is dead.
This can't be.
The prince, the king's only son, had died. The king pleads that Saro should resurrect him, promising to reward him handsomely. Saro, who is now arrogant and greedy, has had his eyes set on the princess, the king's only daughter. He demands that she be given to him in marriage, otherwise he will not raise the prince. He leaves to await the king's positive response. Arolake overhears what had transpired from the servants. She has had enough of the humiliation. She packs her things and leaves to the joy of the other wives. Saro, on finding out about her absence, thinks nothing much of it. The king, after deliberating, finally accepts Saro's condition.
No problem. I'll raise your prince.
Saro attempts to raise the prince with some added flair for dramatic effect. But this time, nothing happens.
Arise!
This is the second time.
He then realizes that the calabash is empty. Arolake had emptied the calabash of its contents before leaving. The movie ends abruptly with Saro dead again, and the Alaka bird resurrecting him to account for the cause of his death. Nyash. The moral of this movie is one nyash is enough. Don't be greedy for more. Please like, share and subscribe for more Nolly Crunch content.